Yo, welcome back to another episode of Big Ant Reacts Productions. We got a pretty good one here today. We got a feminist versus a journalist who is over women's rights. We're on the Piers Morgan show here with this one, and we're just going to watch it. We're going to get into it, and we're going to see what kind of ideas and subjects they bring up, and we'll talk about them as we go.
Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate. So she tapped into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
Before we start this, I don't know if you guys know who Pearl is, but Pearl is considered the female Andrew Tate. She's really good. She has great viewpoints, stands on what she says, and does not back down from nobody.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD.
Wow.
Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people.
Yo, you think about that? The love of your life is average 5 people is crazy. That's just the average human. Now you got to think about today's age and the feminism movement that's going on and how they freely sleep with whoever they want, show their body to whoever they want. That number's got to be increased for sure.
95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
Okay, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava Santini, who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you've been called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know, I'm a fan.
Definitely a compliment.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about, but overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive. Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well, before we get her to talk, the right for women to vote was something hard to pass in the first place, right? So if we do get rid of it, we are regressing, which is not a good thing. So let's see what she says.
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true. You look it up.
At the time?
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say. But, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, you know, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
Well, what's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
I mean, she just stated.
Before, you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have 2 votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about.
No, do you know what it's sort of like?
I know.
No, it's just sort of a bit galaxy brain. I feel like.
I don't know about that. Yep. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments, because I don't think she's got some good points, but I don't know about that.
You know, the stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean, at
Allegedly?
the time, well, at
What
the
do you mean
time
allegedly?
At the time that you're talking about, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school. Or
Yes, they
often couldn't
were.
write.
Yes, they
So
were. That's
actually,
incorrect. The first
okay,
female
what year are we
property, the
talking
first
about?
female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
so sorry, but that will be inherited property.
The first female millionaire.
Before we get into this bickering back and forth, this is gonna be unnecessary, but I just want to know who's gonna win this argument. Is it gonna be Pearl or is it gonna be the reporter? So please put in the comments.
Was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
No, it wasn't. It was self-made.
Yes, it was.
Self-made. Yes, it
and
was.
She never inherited land.
Yes, she did not
and what law
inherit it.
permitted that?
What
law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in
let's
history.
let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, a part of your message. I've researched you today. And hang on a minute.
Okay.
Your big push is that you care about men and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
Well, I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't
Care
made
about
the
women
point
too,
yet.
okay.
Because of feminism, okay? What I wonder is when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. How is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives. They have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers. And they turn around, they don't know how to act around women because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men
think
do
that's
all
what
of the.
feminists are
Well,
saying.
then okay, I'd love for the feminists. Please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open. They're
She's not wrong because 50% of women are not going to take those hard jobs either.
hiring because I don't equate for. I don't think men or women are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber. Go be an electrician. Go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely
That's
not.
a bit-
But you
Wow.
said you were
Wow.
a volleyball.
Wow.
You said you were a volleyball player, and so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think
But
that
I don't
can
have more
do
strength.
those
I don't have
jobs.
more strength
But
than
I'm
the
not
average
gonna take your
man.
right away to
I don't
do
have.
it.
I don't have more strength than the average man. But again, it goes back to go be a plumber. You want to be equal, go be
That's
You
equal.
also, but you want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But feminists have ruined marriage for the people that actually believe in marriage.
How?
When there's a 50% divorce rate and the average marriage
Why is that all down
8
to the
years.
women, though?
I didn't say that it was all down to the women.
So why
But
feminism?
50% divorce rate is nuts. There's no freaking way. Divorce is made for women, hands down, regardless.
You asked why I want divorce to be banned.
Yeah.
Can I finish
Yeah.
that first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death
Right.
do us part.
Yeah.
The sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin, so you wouldn't be able to get married.
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage,
I
then
think,
I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't actually live by.
and
He's
that's a fair
lost.
complaint.
Did you see his face? Hold on. You see his face? Let's get that again.
I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't.
He's like, what did I do? What did I do? Why did I bring this on my show?
And that's a fair complaint. I wish I was. But, we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, but I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views, and you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
I think.
And they should abide by standards.
Hang on. Okay, if I may, at some stage jump in. Isn't the whole point of being a feminist, though, that women are entitled to have their own views?
Absolutely, and
So she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but you
Oh.
can't.
I don't like
But
them.
I'm here to
But
challenge
isn't she
them.
exercising her
What did Pierce just do? That's crazy.
right as a... Are you a feminist?
No, I am not.
Really?
No, I wouldn't. Don't go that far.
You don't want to be a feminist?
No, because I think if feminists really believed in equality. But you guys don't. I would love for you. There is an oil rig hiring. There is an engineering
I would actually
firm
love to see
hiring.
Ava Satin on an
No,
oil rig.
seriously. There is a building being built next to my building. Go do it, feminists. Go do it. And me.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Paul,
What am I doing right
when you
now?
find the man you want to get married to, are you saying you will be with that man whatever happens the rest of your life?
Yes, for the vows that we're supposed to live.
How do you
by.
know you can keep
That is true.
I mean, I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy.
Yeah.
This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it,
Right.
instead of doing what's
Yeah.
best for the kids.
Ava, I've got to say,
Ooh.
it's a little bit.
I will say that sometimes being in a bad marriage, is not the best for the kids. I will be honest about that one. So I don't know about that one particularly, but for better for worse, sickness and health, poor or rich, you're supposed to stick it out.
Listening to Andrew Tate, where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I hear things like that, I think there'll be a lot of people, especially older generation women perhaps, who think, you know what, she's got a point.
Well, I mean, I believe in agency, so I think that if a woman is going to look after her children during divorce, that's absolutely fine. I also believe in your right to speak your mind about it. What I don't understand,
I'd like to
what
say,
I don't
even before the
understand-
1920s,
Do you know what I mean?
women could speak openly. This idea that like,
That's definitely Andrew Tate and her.
the last 500 years, there have been women
I know,
throughout
but the American
history
state
that have
education
been,
system has
that have
failed
been-
before, and
has
it's
been-
failing
has
now.
been- there have been women throughout history that have read, written, and been very influential in society.
True.
So this idea like women could never do it.
Do you know
don't
what
believe
I
it.
don't understand though is when it gets spiteful, okay? Because you put down a few arguments that I think are perfectly, like, you know, they're kind of evangelical and they're Christian, but those are your right to say it. What I don't understand is when it kind of seeps into this sort of, you call women fat, you say that they shouldn't have
Are they
abortions,
fat?
you say that
Are
they
they
have
fat?
STDs. You know,
I mean, we calling a spade here.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
The average American woman is 170 pounds. That's objectively overweight.
I mean, let's be honest. We now celebrate morbid obesity.
Yeah,
as
we
some
do.
kind of body positive thing, and it is.
Wow.
So
They're not wrong.
Point again. There's a bit of truth in
And
that.
Wow.
This is the problem.
How have we come to celebrate morbid obesity?
Yes.
Body positive?
Well, I
It's
watched,
nonsense.
Yes.
We're not talking about morbid obese. I was actually watching your podcast earlier, and you spoke to someone who was, I would say, probably a size 12, and you called her fat, obese, and a divorcee.
She was fat, obese, and adorable.
You call a spade at the end of the day.
This is the thing, women, we don't want to live in reality. We don't want to say things that
Mhm.
are true. Was she fat? Yes. Was she a divorcee? Yes. These things are just objective facts.
Okay, I'm going to have to
And
objectively.
she insulted me first. They always do.
I'm going to have to objectively end the debate, but it was an interesting conversation. I think we should
Yeah.
get you two back together. As a massive
Piers Morgan is crazy.
Thank you very much, Pearl. Thank you, Ava.
Piers Morgan is crazy. Yo, that was a great video, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Appreciate y'all sticking around, watching it, sticking it out. If you guys want to see more content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, let me know what you guys want to see next. This has been Big Ant Reacting, man. I love y'all. I can't wait to see y'all next time. Peace.